Alright, what's going on, you guys? Brian here with my SmackDown recap for tonight's episode. Of course, this is the SmackDown after Backlash, which took place this past Sunday, where we saw Braun Strowman retain the Universal Championship in a handicap match against The Miz and John Morrison. Also, coming off the heels of last week's SmackDown, in which AJ Styles defeated Daniel Bryan in the Intercontinental Championship Tournament Finals, plus a whole bunch more that happened also at Backlash and last week on SmackDown. So we started off SmackDown with AJ Styles' Intercontinental Championship celebration. He had a bunch of the SmackDown talent at ringside. He talked about how he's not going to be giving handouts to anyone. People have to earn their shots. Kind of like what Adam Cole said this past Wednesday on NXT about people coming after him for his NXT championship. AJ Styles kind of made the same comments that he's not going to be handing out any opportunities. People have to earn them, become number one contender, and that's the only way they're going to get a title shot. He then said about he didn't want Renee Young, who was going to present the championship to him, to present it. He wanted the man that he beat last week, Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan came into the ring. Styles started, saying, okay, put it around my waist and then say congratulations. Daniel Bryan, after being hesitant for a while, he did it. Put the title around AJ Styles' waist, and then said congratulations. And then started saying about if you really want to prove you're going to be a great champion, you should be here every week defending the championship against any and all comers. Styles, of course, being the heel, said, "No, I'm not going to give handouts. I'm not going to just give opportunities. People have to earn them." And then we would see the debut of Matt Riddle on SmackDown tonight. There is some news regarding Matt Riddle that I'm not going to get into right now, because it's an ongoing thing. But Matt Riddle made his debut tonight on SmackDown, and he basically told AJ, "Listen, you may be the face that runs the place, but I'm going to be the bro that runs the show." And then him and Styles would get into a brawl. This would lead to Styles wanting a referee to come out. And we had our opening match for SmackDown. AJ Styles, the new Intercontinental Champion, facing the debuting original bro, Matt Riddle. And this would turn into a non-title match because the ring announcer was ready to announce that it was for the Intercontinental Championship, but Styles stopped him and said, "No, this is not for the Intercontinental Championship. I never said that it was going to be for the championship." So it was a non-title match. They had all the superstars that were around the ring. They had them around the ring, like Daniel Bryan, Heavy Machinery, The New Day, King Corbin, Sheamus, Cesaro, just to name a few. Near the end of the match, Styles would end up on the outside of the ring, and he would start arguing with Daniel Bryan. He would shove him. Then when he went to go look to finish off Matt Riddle with the phenomenal forearm, Riddle got him and put him in the Bro Derek. I believe it was the name of his version of a Tombstone Piledriver type, is what Matt Riddle names it, as calling it. So Matt Riddle picked up the victory tonight on SmackDown over the Intercontinental Champion, AJ Styles. Then a little bit later on in the show, they would announce that AJ Styles will be defending his Intercontinental Championship next week against a man who pinned him a week before, last week, Drew Gulak. And that's going to be taking place next week. Also, men talking about Backlash this past Sunday. At Backlash, Jeff Hardy lost to Sheamus in a one-on-one match. Jeff Hardy did an interview where he talked about his feud with Sheamus, how throughout his career he has had his issues, and he's you know trying to he's been getting his life back on straight, is getting his life back on track. He's worked through his issues. He knows that he might screw up, and that he has screwed up in the past, but he's wanting his redemption story, and he called Sheamus a bully. He called Sheamus, saying that oh, Sheamus is a bully, and he wishes he would have a chance to shut him up and stuff like that. And that was pretty much it for the interview. Then a little bit later on in the show, Sheamus would have his rebuttal. He would say that Jeff Hardy calling him a bully is the truth. He is a bully, and that Jeff Hardy and people like Jeff Hardy deserve to be bullied. This is according to Sheamus. So basically playing up the heel. Sheamus then said that next week he plans on having a toast to Jeff Hardy, whatever that means. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Then after the Jeff Hardy interview, we had they had an interview with Shorty G talking about his upcoming match with Mojo Rawley. That was the next match. He talked about how Mojo might think of Shorty G as being small, but Shorty G always has eyes in the back of his head, and because Mojo Rawley was standing behind him, he turned around and punched him in the face, knocking him down. So that leads into the next match, Shorty G versus Mojo Rawley. Mojo, of course, using his weight advantage, his size advantage of 60 pounds on Shorty G, to the point where he was using the power moves, trying to wear down Shorty G. However, Shorty G not giving up. He would reverse one of Mojo's moves into a roll-up and pinned him 1, 2, 3. So Shorty G with the victory on SmackDown tonight. We had a Miz TV segment with Mandy Rose as the guest. This basically was to continue the feud between her and Sonya Deville. Miz and Morrison would insult Mandy, and then they would have Sonya come out. Sonya would talk about, well, what is it that you have that it gives you all these opportunities and everything. And they got into it. They started brawling, and Sonya put Miz in front of her so that she could escape. And Mandy wound up slapping Miz when he wouldn't move out of her way, and that was pretty much it for the segment. We had a tag team match involving the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The New Day. They took on Lucha House Party. The Women's Tag Team Champions, Sasha Banks and Bayley, were at rings on commentary, which I didn't understand why that was. Maybe it was because it was Bayley's birthday week, so they figure, hey, we'll just we'll come out there and sit at the commentary table for a random match that had nothing to do with them. So, New Day, they defeated Lucha House Party. Afterwards, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura would attack them. Last week, Cesaro and Nakamura knocked off the tag team champions. So, that obviously is going to be built into something. Then Cesaro started, yelling at Michael Cole and Corey Graves, saying that, this is, you don't have respect for us. We're two of the best, and no respect whatsoever. So, it is what it is. Then we would see a backstage segment with 5 of the SmackDown women roster competitors, like Dana Brooke, Naomi, Tamina, Lacey Evans, and Alexa Bliss, all talking about Sasha and Bayley, how they've been disrespecting the women's division, all this different stuff. Then Alexa would be like, wait a minute, where's Nikki? Where's Nikki Cross? And nobody knew where Nikki was. Then a little bit after the commercial break, Nikki would be seen attacking Sasha and Bayley at the ringside area, to the point where Alexa Bliss had to come down and try to calm Nikki down. Nikki would get in the ring saying she wants to fight Sasha. Bayley would accept and say that Sasha will fight her. Of course, Bayley and Sasha this past Sunday at Backlash retained their women's tag team championships in a triple threat match against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and the Iconics. And of course, this Monday night on Raw, Sasha and Bayley will be defending their women's tag team championships against the Iconics. They also had a successful title defense on NXT this past Wednesday. So they're trying to build momentum heading into the match Monday night on Raw. And that is exactly what Sasha did. She defeated Nikki Cross via the Meteora and pinned her 1, 2, 3. Then, in the last segment, we would see the return of the Firefly Funhouse, featuring Bray Wyatt. And he talked about what he's been doing on his break. Of course, the last time we saw Bray Wyatt, it was at Money in the Bank, where he lost to Universal Champion Braun Strowman. Then Ramblin' Rabbit came in and said, "Well, you mean you've been away talking about how you lost to Braun Strowman at Money in the Bank?" Then, before he could say anything else, Strowman would come out. He would say that this is over. It's over. It's done. Bray would say, "No, it is not. This chapter may be over, but the story is not finished." Then they would have the old Wyatt family entrance video that they would do, and you would see Bray Wyatt dressed in his old gear, the hat, the Hawaiian shirt, talking about how he created Braun Strowman and he's going to have to destroy him, whatever that means. So obviously that feud is not over. I could see that leading to Extreme Rules, which is their next pay-per-view event, or big event. So that's pretty much it for that. So all in all, I mean, the episode was okay. It was whatever, it was so-so. So with that being said, this has been my SmackDown recap. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.